Madison Keys to serve.
Beautiful day here in Melbourne, and we are ready for the first women's quarterfinal.
15 love.
Always interests me, Jill,
30 love.
the coin toss. We see it so often now. Players win the coin toss, choose to receive, men's and women's game, but Keys winning there, choosing to serve. It's one of our big weapons.
I think it's also what you're comfortable with. I think you can see a lot of changes too. There's some players I know that used to serve all the time and then just tried something different, decided to receive, because you occasionally can maybe get that break a serve from the beginning, maybe when your opponent's a little bit cool, hasn't warmed up yet. But Keys, like you said, really strong serve. That's somewhere where that's a place in her game where she gets a lot of free points, so it makes sense for her to serve first.
And that's a really confident start for Madison Keys. Clean ball striking.
First game.
She leads 1-love.
Yeah, I did a couple of Keys matches, like I said, in the Somerset series, and also obviously one Adelaide leading up to this event, and getting stronger and stronger. But something, I mean, especially I did her match against Wong in the 3rd round, and that ended up going to 3-set tiebreak. And the way she raised her level in that tiebreak was so exceptional. And for me, that was a turnaround for her, because obviously played Badosa in the next round, won in straight sets. But to me, that tiebreak, I mean, that just showed in those big pressure moments how much she raised her level in the biggest moments to win that match.
Yeah, and that's maybe the reason why the win predictor has Barbora Krejcikova just 51%, very slight favourite. World number 4 against world number 51, but don't let the rankings mislead you. Keys has got a legitimate chance in this match.
Barbora Krejcikova to serve.
Jill mentioned, Keys winning the second Adelaide warm-up event, wins over Goff in the semi-finals and Risk in the final. She's then had a good run here in Melbourne. A big match first round against Sophia Kenin, the 11th seed. She then had a
15 on.
win over Jacqueline Christian. Quang Wang, as Jill mentioned, that was where she came through in the final set tiebreak, and then Paula Badosa in the previous round. Krejcikova also had a good warm-up event, lost in the final of the 500 event in Sydney. Final set tiebreak to Badosa there. She was playing great tennis and has had wins here over Andrea Petkovic in the first round, Zhu Wang in the second. She then had a tough match against the 26th seed Yelena Ostapenko in round number 3. Lost the first set in that one, Krejcikova, before coming through 4 in the third, and big win over two-time champion here at the Australian Open, Victoria Azarenka, in the previous round. Oh, what a hit from Keys.
Yeah, that's the one that I think has gotten a lot better, that backhand down the line in particular. I mean, it's tough because once that shot gets better for Keys, I mean, normally your opponents, you want to try and stay away from that forehand as much as possible. But if she starts hitting her backhand better, she's going to be so dangerous. And that's the one That's been so good lately in this event.
Third unforced error for Krejcikova, and an early chance here for Keys. First break point.
When we talk about Keys' forehand, Krejcikova's forehand's a weapon of hers as well. And I think because she plays so many doubles, she's especially good on that forehand cross court in particular. She plays the deuce side, so it's very comfortable. And that's the one where she can unleash and feel so good on that side, that forehand cross court.
Yeah, three-time Grand Slam champion in doubles, Krejcikova. French Open twice in 2018 and 2021, and Wimbledon also in 2018. Finalist here last year. All alongside her doubles partner, good friend, Katerina Siniakova. They're through to the quarterfinals again, unsurprisingly here, so it's been a heavy workload for Krejcikova, but she's used to it. She's facing another break point now.
Well, that's good serve right off the service line from Krejcikova and into the body as well. I think that's going to be an important serve for Krejcikova throughout this match, because Keys likes to take that return early, likes to get aggressive. So if you can jam your opponent when they have that close court position to the baseline, always a good option.
Advantage, Krejcikova.
That was a good strike on the ball. There's that aggressive return, but just missing wide.
I mentioned Krejcikova in the singles and doubles here. Chose not to play the mixed doubles this year, having won at the previous 3 editions. Just conserving some energy, perhaps. Now well established in the singles game. As always, no panic from Krejcikova, under some pressure early on. She comes through her opening service game and levels this up at 1-1.
One game.
Just have a look at the Krejcikova serve, Jill.
She's very smooth. I mean, she's just smooth all around. She has that slight pause right there, but gets a good bend in her legs, good hip rotation to be able to reach up for that toss. She does toss it slightly high, but she times it pretty well.
15 love.
That's a serve that Madison Keys really likes, will use a lot of. First ace of the match. It won't be the last.
That's a good deep return. Yeah, I've noticed Madison in her matches in particular that, you know, she does have a huge serve that she needs a lot of pace on, but she's been using the kick pretty often throughout her matches, which I found interesting, and she has gotten some short replies off that. Which I've just been surprised the majority of her serves have been that more off-pace slice or kick serve. That's good depth again. I think because these courts, especially in the hotter weather, off the bounce can bounce a little bit higher on the opponent. Sometimes that higher shot over the shoulders can be difficult to handle. It can be difficult to get the depth on that, but so far Krejcikova 2 in a row right in front of the baseline.
Some errors here from Madison Keys, and having had a couple of break points of her own, she's now facing 2 here at 15:40. Second ace, this time down the tee. It's a surprising miss for Krejcikova, who was just trying to play a solid point. Maybe some early tension, Jill. Big moments.
Yeah, both of them just a few unforced errors at the beginning of this match. Yeah. I think also just a reminder they hadn't played each other, so sometimes it's getting used to their pace, their patterns, so that could be a factor as well.
Advantage. Keys.
Just got a glimpse there of Keys' coach, Georgi Romanov.
Game, Keys.
And a third ace gets her out of the game. There's Georgi.
Keys leads by
So Keys leads 2-1 first set. Some big serving there from Keys to fend off some early pressure. It's such a big weapon for her.
Yeah, she has such good extension. I mean, she tosses it pretty high as well, but gets a really good knee bend. I think a little bit lower knee bend than Krejcikova overall, but finishes nicely in the court. So important to keep that momentum going forward on the serve. Just gives you that little extra pace.
Some of the relaxation areas around the grounds here at Melbourne Park, not just about the tennis, so much to do on site. It's a kind of beach club area. It's new this year. Go and get a nice refreshment and chill out between matches.
Time.
Umpire Thomas Sweeney keeping cool there under his shade. It's a warm one again here in Melbourne. Temperatures rising into the 30 degrees Celsius, and it'll be interesting to see if the conditions, the physicality play a factor in this first women's quarterfinal. So both players saving some break points early on. Krejcikova serving 1-2. just approaching 1 p.m. local time here, and the sun can be a factor at this time of day for the players serving, especially at Krejcikova's end of the court.
That's the side that's been a struggle for some players on this particular court. You've seen a lot of the players adjust their toss, mainly trying to toss it a little bit lower because the sun is right in their eye. They toss it a little higher.
And on top of that, the prevailing breeze on
15-30.
Rod Laver Arena tends to be down the court from Keys' end down to where Krejcikova's serving.
I think sometimes it's not only the serve too, because your eyes have to adjust after the toss, so that next ball can sometimes be challenging because your eyes haven't adjusted from looking into the sun yet. And if the ball's coming that fast from Keys, that can be difficult.
Oh, it's a lovely slice to set up the point.
30 all.
If she can incorporate that slice, I think that can be a really good asset for her, because just to change the rhythm, because once Keys gets comfortable with that pace inside her racket, those are the types of balls she likes. That off-pace slice can really disrupt her rhythm.
Yeah, just get a sense the sun is bothering Krejcikova here.
$40-30.
Keys will be disappointed with that error, letting her off the hook slightly.
Game, Krejcikova.
So an uncomfortable game for Krejcikova, but she manages it well. Levels us up at 2-all. That's where her mindset's so often impressive. It's not just her game, Jill, but manages the occasions, looks very calm on the court.
Yeah, everything, she just has that ease about her. She never really panics. I mean, you see it across all her matches, singles and doubles. She just never really gets upset with herself, down on herself. Very calm demeanor.
Late first serve.
Oh, it's a beautiful return.
Love 15.
Well, the key there was that she cut diagonally into the court to take that return slightly earlier. That was great anticipation there from Krejcikova. Going for a little bit too much. Maybe saw Krejcikova moving in that direction. Had a lot of time on that forehand.
Smart serve there from Keys into the body, wanting to make sure she played that point on her first serve. It's another error from Keys and inviting pressure here, Jill.
Yeah, I feel like the ones that she's been missing, she's to me, looks like she's just too late getting low with the legs. She's straight up and then tries at the last second to get low, and by that time it's too late. So just mistiming that.
Just as the previous game,
30-40.
serve bailing him out of some trouble, but it's another break point here.
Deuce.
That's fantastic serving under pressure from Madison Keys.
Yeah, it's so nice to have that under your belt, that type of serve to save break points. And she's been pretty good on those pressure moments of making sure she gets that first serve in.
She's going to have to find another one here as another backhand
Advantage.
catches the net.
Krejcikova.
Krejcikova got into the point this time, but Keys able to
Deuce.
keep her at bay.
A nice placement on the serve, just enough pace where
Advantage, Keys.
Krejcikova struggled to control that. Had a good look at it. I think she's expecting that out wide serve from Keys. Keys does tend to use that on the deuce side pretty often.
Oh, it's a nice change up. Lovely hand skills.
Always a good tool to have when someone is so technically sound on both sides, can bring that depth from the forehand and the backhand. And great disguise. He just changed the angle of the racket head at the last second.
There's the power from Keys.
Advantage, Keys.
Just smart shot selections there from Madison Keys. I mean, this one she could have easily gone for a much flatter ball on the forehand, but chose that higher, heavier shot. It's so much safety in that shot, but yet she can still add that power and acceleration.
Precise hitting there, Joe, wasn't it? Getting Keys on the run.
It's just great rally from both players. Good, high quality. They both starting to look a little bit more comfortable out there in this particular rally. And Krejcikova in the end did a good job of fending off so much pace that was coming from Keys' racket. And Keys so far outside the court just felt she had to go for a winner because she was so far away.
Advantage.
Fifth ace already for Keys. Serving very well. 76% of first serves going into play. She's won 14 out of 19 of those points. Again, the backhand catches the net. She's not getting enough lift.
Especially off that slice, it's just a different kind of spin that's coming in. You do have to generate more of your own pace, which Madison can, but she just didn't get below that ball. Hit it too flat.
Good defense by Keys. Just not able to make the forehand to finish the job. So another breakpoint opportunity for Krejcikova. And another good first serve. There was the kick serve, Jill.
Yeah. And deep into the corner, too, which was key. That really jumped up on Krejcikova over the shoulders. Great placement from Keys. That's well done. Yeah, even if Krejcikova knows that she's serving out wide, I mean, it's such good placement from Keys on that serve that it's hard to get a good clean strike on that ball. That one just landing slightly short, and Keys did a good job of getting over there quickly. Good first step off the serve to get ready for that return.
Game, Keys.
So the mercury is rising here in Melbourne, and so is the quality in this first women's quarter-final. Keys keeping her nose in front, leading 3-2 first set. That was a really interesting game, Jill. Felt like the first game where, as you said, both players were starting to relax into the contest, maybe get a feel for each other's games.
Look at that last game, over 8 minutes. Yeah, it's been such a close contest. I mean, both players have had break chances and still on serve here, but it's been really tight game. So, I mean, that's just an indication it's going to come down to who can play those big moments the best. I mean, Madison did a good job in that game on coming up with some big serves when she needed them. Interesting. Krejcikova on that short ball just going straight down the center of the court. Perhaps thinking that Madison might guess one way or the other, but Keys did a good job holding her ground. Great shot right to the feet of Krejcikova.
That's a loose error there. Opportunity now for the American to make something happen.
She holds that racket head
15,
back
30.
so well. I mean, doesn't try and rush that shot at all. That's a nice backswing in here. Just waits a little bit for Madison to make a move and accelerates through.
Wow, she just didn't move her feet to the flight of that ball. Perhaps thought it was going to fly long.
15-40.
And again, we have break points. Yeah, having a look down at the line, I think she expected the Keys ground stroke to go long there.
Oh, that's a tough one to time, right on the baseline, trying to take that ball on the rise.
Let first serve.
It's now the 9th break point saved between the two players combined. A second chance here for Keys to secure the first break of the match. So well played by Krejcikova, facing a break point and just remaining cool, calm and collected.
Yeah, it was very well done. It was good defending from Keys throughout this match, just trying to force Krejcikova to hit one extra shot. Pretty good shot there, and Krejcikova made the right decision, let that ball bounce. She's so good at the net with the volleys, but just gave her herself that little extra time. Smart choice from Krejcikova.
Played that like a practice point at our local club, Krejcikova.
Advantage.
That's good second serve from Krejcikova. I think it's always a good tool to have if you can mix up that second serve occasionally to the forehand side, because a lot of players aren't expecting that. So often, the majority of the time, that second serve goes down the tee on the deuce side. It's a good change up.
Yes.
Second double fault from Krejcikova.
Advantage, Keys.
So third break point of the game for Keys. 5th of the match so far. So just be looking for that opportunity to get the big first strike in one of these break point opportunities. Hasn't had it yet.
Yeah, just a little fluster there. Keys, her return was a little bit short and just in the center of the court. So if you're going to go down the center, you got to make sure you get enough depth on that ball. It's not a bad play, that central ball, but if it lands that short, just puts your opponent in an offensive position.
Oh, fantastic hit from Keys on the backhand again. Both players mixing the heights. But that was a bomb down the line.
Advantage, Keys.
I see those high balls are bouncing so high, so it's really tough for the players. And Krejcikova was the one that was tempted first to try and hit with a lot of pace on that shot. And Keys just sitting in that backhand corner waiting for that ball. It's another break chance for the American.
And a 5th backhand winner for Keys. She's got a little stuck there on the backhand return again.
Miss.
Seems to be doubting Jill whether to maybe take it on the rise or move back.
Yeah, that one she did wait on it a little bit. Yeah, you were motioning to me to have her move forward a little bit. I think it's a good option. She can mix that in, sometimes take that ball a little earlier on the return. She even motioned to herself a few times already to have herself move forward.
Oh, she's going to have another break point opportunity here. The 13th of the match.
Keys.
From the two players combined, and we haven't had a break yet.
No.
Oh, the forehand goes wide, and Madison Keys does break. There was a net cord each there. Krejcikova, for the first time, just lost her composure. So advantage Keys here. She leads 4-2 opening set.
Yeah, that little let court, I think, right there can just change up your rhythm. And Krejcikova just got a little bit late on that. Caught it to her right a little bit and just couldn't control, couldn't bring the ball back inside the court.
Sometimes a ball like that off the net cord just gives you an extra split second to think about the shot. Can cost you.
And sometimes you don't feel like you have time to take those couple adjustment steps, but that's what you need when that rhythm is changed.
Keys building some momentum here. Coming in here, remember, off the back of a big 4th round win, beating 8th seed Paula Badosa 3-1. Badosa possibly running out of steam after a run to the Sydney title and some tough matches here, but still very clean performance from Keys. Oh, there's the net skills from Krejcikova. Just had a word with Thomas Sweeney there. Just wonder if he's calling for the trainer.
Nice. Krejcikova, good play coming into the net. Something that I feel like she can do more often. It's tough off Madison's deep, hard shots, but if she can get that opportunity, she's so calm, knows exactly where to be, obviously at the net with how much she plays doubles and is so comfortable up there.
40-30.
4 out of 6 net points won for Krejcikova, but another ace for Madison Keys. Her 6th of the match, and it's out wide to the deuce again. So Madison Keys here grabs hold of the momentum in this first women's quarterfinal.
Keys leads by 5 games to 2.
She's got some breathing space now, leading 5-2 first set.
Ladies and gentlemen, the physio has been called to court.
Just heard Thomas Sweeney there, the umpire, announcing that the trainer has been called to the court. Saw Barbora Krejcikova just asked for that during the previous game. So we will have a delay here.
Yeah, it's interesting because as soon as she asked, that's when she started coming to the net all of a sudden. So just trying to make the points a little bit shorter, but that play was working for her, and here we go. Here's the trainer coming out to the court. So we'll have an evaluation at first just to get an understanding of what's going on.
So a delay here on Rod Laver Arena as Barbora Krejcikova has called for the trainer to come to the court. Evaluation ongoing. There hasn't been a medical timeout called yet, but there may well be. Not sure at this stage what the issue may be.
I didn't notice anything in the match that was bothering her. You can see she's been putting the ice towel around her neck every changeover, and Madison as well. I mean, good that they've been doing that from the beginning with how hot today is going to be throughout the day.
Yeah, another warm day here. We're into the 30 degrees plus Celsius, and it's not just the heat, it's the intensity of the sun here in Melbourne can get to the players. Not much shade out there.
I think also on the court, I mean, on the court, the temperature rises probably 4 to 5 degrees from the cement court coming up.
Looks as if they're just checking the vitals at this stage, the blood pressure, the heart rate, and maybe it is a heat-related issue. We're not too sure. Madison Keys also keeping cool with the ice towel. Important to try and keep that core body temperature down, isn't it, on these hot days?
Yeah, I mean, it's so great they have those automatic shades that go up for the players. I remember they used to have the umbrellas out there, and now they have this automated system where the shades come up as soon as they sit down. But the ice towel is huge. I mean, you always see the players put it around their neck. Sometimes they put it between their legs, which is a great place to, because it cools you down very quickly. But to me, they're usually a bit stiffer. It looks like the ice is already melted on them. That's how warm it is. She's not conversing much. There we go. Just taking her blood pressure, I think, is what I saw.
So no timeout called. It looked as if she may have just taken some medication there, Krejcikova. Doctor and the trainer are happy that she's fitting well enough to continue, which is great news. Umpire Thomas Sweeney calls time, and we are ready to go here again.
That's a good sign.
A warm day in Melbourne. Madison Keys has been bringing the heat early on here. Krejcikova under some pressure, serving with new balls, 2-5. That was a positive return
15.
from Madison Keys.
Yeah, she took that one slightly earlier. Just looking to move inside. Just that one little step makes a big difference. Also didn't try and flatten that one out. I like when she gets that more spin rotation on her return.
How do you approach it, Jill? If you're in Madison Keys' shoes, you've just taken a 5-2 lead. You see your opponent calling for the doctor or the physio.
Right. It's not easy. I mean, I think obviously you have to focus on just your side of the court and focus on your game and what you need to do. It's not the easiest thing to do because it's always in your mind wondering maybe how your opponent's feeling. So it can be challenging to play against it. And also it can affect your game because then you start thinking, okay, I just got to get the ball in the court, move her. And then if you start hesitating, that's where the unforced errors come into play. So you just got to really stay focused on what you need to do on your game.
40-15.
Certainly the signs in this game are that Krejcikova is feeling okay. Some good serving and a chance for a hold.
For Krejcikova, it was a good sign after that break, and there's a look at Krejcikova's coach, Alice Cartou's been with her for quite some time. We talked about how Krejcikova's calm. He's always pretty calm in the stands as well.
Game, Krejcikova.
So a nice first serve, and Coach Cartous is happy with that hold of serve.
5-3.
Big game coming now as Madison Keys will serve for the opening set.
Well, I was just saying that I think it was a good sign after that break that Krejcikova, when she got out of her seat, was jumping up and down. So that's a good sign, especially because she was just having her vitals checked. So good time. It was always good signs here. Jump up and start to move around. But now on Keys' racket, this first set
15 love.
goes to her, one of her best serves, that slice out wide.
So first quarterfinal here. Madison Keys at a Grand Slam since 2019 French Open.
Led first serve.
Real resurgence for her in 2022 so far. 3 times a Grand Slam quarterfinalist, 3 times a semi-finalist, and once a finalist at the 2017 US Open. Going for the backhand down the line again.
15 on.
I just was reaching for that ball. I think she was expecting a little more pace off that from Krejcikova and just didn't get her feet up to that last backhand.
Has been there for her, interestingly. 2 winners off the forehand, 6 on the backhand. Not necessarily numbers you would expect prior to the match.
30-15.
The serve has been strong throughout, got her out with some pressure. And using it now to try and seal this opening set.
40-15.
It's an 8th ace of the set. And it brings up a chance to seal the deal. Make it 9.
First set, Keys.
Fantastic serving and play throughout from Madison Keys. It was an arm
6
wrestle early
games to
on.
3.
But it's the unseeded American who takes the first set here in 50 minutes, 6 games to 3. Well, that's a fantastic start for Keys. The momentum could have gone either way early on, but she'll be delighted that it's gone her way.
Yeah, I think once she finally got the break, because as we said, they both had their opportunities, so many break point chances for both of them. If you look at 6 for Krejcikova, wasn't able to convert on any of those. 7 for Keys, just needed the 1, and that's where that momentum shifted. Obviously, quite a few more winners from Keys' racket. Unforced errors are similar. So the winners is the category where Keys was really set herself apart. 9 aces, just the 1 to Krejcikova. So it was Keys the one that capitalized on that first break chance that she got and just served really well to close it out. And just looking at the physical battle as well, Keys' hitting load obviously has a lot more pace on her shot, so that hitting load is higher for her. Intensity change is a little bit similar. Keys has been on the run a little bit more, but we've been talking about how much better she's been defending recently in her game, which has made a significant impact on how much better she's been playing as these matches has gone along. So that's a huge number right there for her to be able to come through that first set.
Beautiful Melbourne sporting precinct there, and a beautiful start for Madison Keys. First quarterfinals day here, 2022 Australian Open, and in this first women's quarterfinal between Barbora Krejcikova and Madison Keys. It's Keys who struck first. Krejcikova to serve to open set number 2.
Good reach on that from Keys, and good slice short into the court.
Now this win predictor, we've seen it throughout the tournament, it's fickle. It loves a swing. We've had a big swing here, 29%.
It's a big jump.
Wow.
In Keys' way, for Keys' direction.
Winner of the opening set, such a strong position. And we knew it was a fairly 50-50 match before. I don't think you could argue with that.
Yeah.
Love 30.
And it will swing even further if Keys is able to break here in the first game.
Great penetration on that backhand from Krejcikova.
15-30.
Good depth as well. She's already made a couple unforced errors in this game, but you can see she's trying to add a little bit more pace off the ground.
$30.
If Krejcikova is feeling something, as we saw the trainer come out in the middle of that first set, she's got to take her time between these points. She's getting up to the line pretty quickly. That's great serving. These last couple of serves, good accuracy.
40-30.
Keys isn't letting her out of the game yet, though. Seemed to read that serve and crush the forehand return. Alice Cartouze there, the coach of Krejcikova. Be hoping for a response from his player.
Advantage Keys.
It's a big moment here. Having won the opening set, there's a real chance now for Keys to snowball that momentum into the second set here. Break point. And break she does. So the unseeded American Madison Keys is marching on here on Rod Laver Arena. And now looking good for a place in the semi-finals.
Well, we talked about that focus from Keys because the trainer was out, and sometimes that can be distracting, but she's been focusing very well. Obviously, from that moment on, really capitalized on that first set, served extremely well, and a break already in this second set, keeping that momentum going. I think that's really good concentration.
It's not just been about the power of Keys. She's getting this tactically right. She's staying calm. And you mentioned the good serving, Jill. 73% of first serves in that first set, won 80%, 24 out of 30 first serve points. So just looking back, 2021, she was averaging 4.6 aces per match. She hit 9 in that opening set.
Yeah, I know. It was great. I like that she's mixing it up too. It's not, I think she's realized, has a good mentality that not always has to be a hard, flat first serve. She's throwing in some kicks.
15 love.
She's really mixing it up, and I think she's been hitting her spots well. It hasn't always been in one direction. She's throwing in, she's been going on the deuce side in particular, slice out wide, and that time right away flat down the tee. So it's tough to know which direction she's going to go.
15 all.
Oh, it's a lovely forehand.
30-15.
Gave it some height again.
$40-15.
Another big first serve, another hold for Keys, who's yet to be broken.
Keys leads by 2 games to love.
And a set and 2 love, the finishing line is starting to come into sight. Maybe just on the horizon.
Oh, you get in trouble if you start thinking about that too early. But yeah, good position, obviously, for Madison Keys. I think now, I mean, she got that early break. It can allow you to swing a little bit more freely on the return games, which can be dangerous because of how well she's been serving. I mean, I know she faced a few break points in that first set, but she got out of them with big first serve. So now she can swing with a little bit more freedom.
This is a crucial game here. The momentum firmly with Madison Keys, and if Krejcikova is to advance to her first Australian Open semi-final, he feels she needs to win this game right now.
Yeah.
He's starting to swing with the freedom that Jill alluded to.
And the returns just coming back so fast. I mean, those returns, Krejcikova just immediately on her back foot.
Love 40.
Precarious now for Barbora Krejcikova, the 4th seed. 3 chances for Keys to secure a double break. And as the forehand goes wide, that's exactly what she does. Krejcikova's looking out of sorts here, and she may well be heading out of the tournament.
Keys
leads 6-3, 3-love. I'm just wondering here, Jill. She did come out and hold serve after having the doctor and the trainer on, but maybe all not quite right in the world of Barbora Krejcikova.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, I think she's obviously lost her rhythm, and I think you rarely see her falling backwards after her serve. I mean, I know Madison's hitting with a lot of pace, but she's usually very good at redirecting that pace and staying calm, but now she's just falling back and just looks a little bit uncomfortable. And I think once you lose that rhythm, sometimes it's hard to get it back, because normally, I mean, it's hard to get rhythm against Keys because she hits with such pace and the points tend to be short, so she's kind of dig deep.
We hope you're enjoying your day.
Yeah, and you alluded to it early on in the match. That forehand cross court, or that was inside in, that last one, usually so secure for her.
Yeah.
It's a strange miss.
Time.
Madison Keys here on the verge of her first Grand Slam semi-final since the US Open in 2018. Playing a very mature, very solid match here and leading 6-3, 3-love.
Out. 15-love.
So Jill, set 2-love. You weren't happy with the finishing line coming into sight there. Is it in sight yet?
Oh, I mean, it seems that way, but I feel like, I mean, there's been moments where people have come back from this stage in a match. So I feel like you can never rule it out. But I mean, the momentum is completely in Keys' favor right now.
It's a bad miss. It was another very short return from Krejcikova, who I have to say is looking out of sorts here. She did have the doctor and the trainer on at 5-2 in the first set. Seemed to be perhaps struggling with the heat and the sun.
Madison actually struggling with those slower, short returns, just waiting on the ball too much. Especially off a second serve, you do tend to be a little further back, expecting a bigger turn in those last 2 short returns. Madison struggled with that off pace. Oh.
30 on.
A 23rd unforced error from Krejcikova in this match.
Unexpected. Keys taking advantage. Is that what Krejcikova needs to look for, try and shorten the points?
I think she is, but
30,
she's just
40.
she's definitely feeling uncomfortable because she's not getting normally in position as easily as she usually is. That time had a lot of time to get around that ball. That serve didn't have a ton of pace on it. That's a great serve.
And there's been a heavy load of tennis on Krejcikova, who mentioned that Keys beat Paula Badosa in the previous round, who beat Krejcikova 7-6 in the third set in the Sydney finals. So it's been that run in Sydney into this Grand Slam, playing doubles as well. Maybe that can be a factor. But it's nothing for Madison Keys to worry about.
Advantage, Krejcikova.
Oh, that time just unleashing on that forehand. Thinking, obviously doesn't seem like she wants to get into a lot of long rallies, Krejcikova.
Double fault for Madison Keys, and finally in this match Krejcikova breaks. She's had her chances.
Keys leads by 3 games to 1.
First double fault. And maybe this match just getting interesting once again.
Love 15.
The forehand goes wide again. Krejcikova definitely struggling, definitely trying to keep the points short, but in danger of handing another break to Keys.
Oh, it's a good move from Krejcikova, trying to come into the net. That's one way of making the points a little bit shorter, and she's very comfortable up there. Still didn't do a ton with that volley. Just kind of guided it into the court. It's an opportunity for Madison to create a break point here, but made that unforced error.
You just feel for the first time as maybe lost a little focus and intensity in the match.
Keys, yeah, just slightly. I mean, the previous game she got broken. Probably the weakest service game that she's had this match so far.
Well, Krejcikova hardly getting up to the first serve, but she's found an ace on the second. Keys asking for a look at the call. Electronic line calling, of course. It's not an official challenge as such, just wants confirmation of where it landed.
Let's first serve.
I think it's a big point right here, because if Krejcikova holds here, that could really change the momentum can start to change.
Advantage 40-30.
She's got an opportunity to do just that. Love 30 becomes 40-30. Probably not feeling 100%, Krejcikova, but she's still fighting.
That's good focus there from Keys on that point, because Krejcikova now obviously trying to apply more pressure, coming in way more often, and Keys did a good job of dipping that ball just enough. Krejcikova couldn't control it. Still, that's a volley Krejcikova normally it's pretty standard for her, just still overplaying, still making quite a few unforced errors.
Keys out again with the bigger second serve to the forehand, and another chance to navigate her way through this hold. And hold she does. And a great effort there from Barbora Krejcikova, who's struggling, hanging around here. Keys leads, set in 3-2. There is no doubt, Jill, that Krejcikova is struggling here. She was really taking her time between points and looking a little lost in some of the points, as we see the ice towel going right over the head here.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's definitely hurting a little bit, and you can see it in her not only physically, but putting the ice on her head and getting the ice around her shoulders after every changeover. But I think also in her game plan, I mean, she's starting to make the point shorter. She's going for more. She's trying to charge the net as much as she can, which is what you need to do if you're not feeling 100%. You need to try and shorten the points, and that's exactly what she's trying to do. I mean, she's edged her way in this. I mean, I know Keys is still up a break, but she's edged her way back, and you can start to sense, I think, a little change in this second set.
Time.
So an intriguing stage here of this first women's quarterfinal. Madison Keys was looking good for the win at 6-3 love. Krejcikova seemingly struggling a little physically, but hanging around and able to peg the American back to 3-2 here. What are you looking for from Keys here, Jill?
I think the serve is huge for her right now. I think she has been serving well. Just that one loose game in her previous service game where she got broken, but overall just focusing again. She's done such a good job of concentrating on what she needs to do. That first serve percentage is going to be important because she's not winning a very high percentage on her second serve right now. That's great. On that second serve right now, just 20%.
15 left
in this set, so just got to get that first serve in. She's winning 78% of the points when she's gotten that first serve in. I think this game's huge for Keys because Krejcikova is starting to become a little bit more consistent.
And it looked as if Krejcikova took some medication when the doctor and the trainer were on at 5-2 first set, and you would expect at some stage for her to find an equilibrium again and start to raise her level. So, as you say, Keys needs to be careful here. Oh, what a return. That's one way to keep the point short.
Yeah.
30 on.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, because that medication sometimes can take a few games to kick in. So sometimes you kind of have to like gut it out and wait, and then all of a sudden the energy can come. That's a good serve. I mean, I even feel Krejcikova is starting to walk a little bit differently. I mean, it's very, very subtle changes, but she's walking a little bit better. It looks like has a little bit more energy.
So Keys snaps the run of 2 games against her, and once again puts some breathing space
by 4 games to 2
between her and Krejcikova. Second set here, leading 4-2.
We handled these off-pace returns much better, Keys, in that game. She made a couple unforced errors before when there wasn't much pace on the return. That time, much better footwork. Her coaching team's happy. They knew that was an important game.
Listening in on Keys' press conference after her
15.
4th round win over Badosa, she was asked when she realized she was a power player, and she said she wasn't really sure. It's just been her average weight of shot. She's always been a big hitter, and she said her granddad was really into baseball, and when she played that, she always tried to hit home runs, which maybe explains her game.
Yeah. I remember her when she first started. She was so young. I think I saw her, I think she was 14 or 15 years old, very young. And I think she hit that hard then. But I think that's a good, I mean, I always feel like it's better if you naturally have the pace and then you have to bring that back somehow, because you can always add spin to that game. But she just wanted to hit the ball as hard as she could. So it was just trying to manage that pace for her at such a young age.
Power and pace has never been an issue for Madison Keys.
30-15.
The player you see now at 26 years of age has put a lot of work into structuring her game, mastering her tactics, and it's been a mature performance for the majority of this quarterfinal.
And that was good. That's unfortunate for Krejcikova. It was a good strike on the ball. A little bit too flat, perhaps, for where she was in the court, a few feet behind the baseline.
Ground stroke lacking in intensity and coordination, really. Another error. And another chance for Keys to move ahead by a double break.
Yes.
Well, it was right on the line. It's good placement on the serve from Krejcikova.
There's no doubt she's still struggling, you know, just an unreturned serve in that point, but again, going to her towel, taking her time. She's trying to fight her way through. Thomas Sweeney, the umpire, I think, being fairly lenient with the serve clock.
Wow, that came back so fast. Krejcikova didn't even make a move.
Advantage Keys.
That wasn't even that far away from her, that one right down the middle, but Krejcikova not quite getting ready that fast after that serve. Good movement forward from Keys on that return. It's another break chance.
Just guilty there of, unlike the previous return, maybe moving backwards and hoping the ball would go into play.
Yeah, that one she waited on it quite a bit. Always when you have that opportunity, knowing it's break point, you try and be sometimes a little too careful, just trying to get the ball back in play, and that's where you can hesitate. Another huge return from Keys. Both of those on the forehand on that deuce side.
Keys.
Third break point opportunity of this game. Is this the moment that Keys breaks through? Well, the second serve found the line, but Keys was waiting for it. And it's another huge winner. Keys now just a game away, leading by a set in 5-2. That was the one she was looking for, Jill.
Yeah, it was a confident strike on the ball. I was surprised Krejcikova actually served to the forehand side on that. I mean, Keys has been missing that backhand return, not hitting it cleanly. A little bit more hesitant on that side. But great job from Madison to go after this ball on break point. Good confident strike on the ball. And good response as well.
On the verge here, Madison Keys of, as I said, a first Grand Slam semi-final since the 2018 US Open. She also made the semis of the French Open that year. First women's quarterfinal here at the 2022 Australian Open, and Madison Keys is bringing her best stuff. Serving now for a place in the semi-finals.
love.
That's an 11th ace. She really has served well throughout this match.
Love.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that. That was an unbelievable angle from Krejcikova. It was a good get from Madison off the baseline. That one landing so deep in the court. It's a tough angle to create from the center of the court. It was pretty impressive.
It's another error from Krejcikova. And it's a first match point for a place in the semi-finals for Madison Keys. And Madison marches on in Melbourne.
2 sets to love, 6-3, 6-2.
She had too much for a slightly out of sorts Krejcikova. And her resurgence in 2022 continues. Keys wins 6-3, 6-2 in 1 hour and 25 minutes. A shame for Krejcikova in some ways, Joe, but a fantastic day for Madison Keys as she rebuilds her form and her ranking in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Krejcikova, obviously, it was a very competitive first set for the first 5 or 6 games, and then we saw the trainer come out to attend to Krejcikova. I think she had a tough day at the office, but I think a lot of that had to do with how competitive the first 5 games was, because there were a lot of break chances. The games were going pretty long, and Keys toughened it out, got that first break, and from that point on, I think up to her level quite a bit. And I do think Krejcikova struggled. Just didn't look like she was maybe struggling with the heat. She, you know, her vitals were taken out in the court, so that was something that she struggled with. But impressive performance from Keys. I really liked her focus.
Yeah, great performance, and we'll hear from the winner, who'll be speaking to Jelena Dokic.
Madison, congratulations. You had a tough year last year, but you're now through to the semi-finals here. How much does this mean to you?
I think I'm going to cry.
We've all been crying these past 9 days. Go for it.
You come out, everyone starts crying after.
Is it me? And is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a
It must be a good thing, because it's usually after we win, so that's always a good thing. It means a lot. Last year was really hard, and I did everything that I could with my team to just really reset this off season and focus on starting fresh and new, and really just starting from zero and not worrying about last year. And wow, that's gone well so far. So I'm really proud of myself and so thankful to my team and my friends and my family for helping me through what was a really tough year last year.
Now I want to talk about your team, because I was there in Adelaide, did a lot of your matches, you won the title here as well. They've been a big part of, especially this summer, and they go through a lot in that box. They get nervous, you had some tough matches, but I just want to ask you how much they mean to you, and you look over there and how much they help you, and they've been there all the way.
They are absolutely the best support team, and you know, in tight moments when I look over, they all have very good poker faces. You know, they're always there supporting, whether it's good point or a bad point. It's always just the next one, focus on the next one. And even in bad moments, you know, it's fine. We're a team. We're going to get through this. We're going to work through it. We'll figure it out. And to have that every single time you look up is really important, and I'm very thankful for them.
Now, I just want to ask you about the heat. It's been very hot. Everyone's been, you know, it's been hard. Everyone's been struggling. You've been doing an amazing job. Alizé talked about what helps her, and perhaps it was the birthday cake. Is there anything special that gets you through the heat?
I train in Orlando in the summer, which I think is the hottest place on earth in the summer. You guys should come and try it out and let me know if you agree with me. But I'm pretty used to it just because I train in that all of the time, which I think is definitely a bonus for me, even though in the summer I really wish I didn't live there and I live somewhere nicer. But yeah, I think that, and then along with, I mean, we have so many great things like ice towels and cool fans and all of that, which really help.
Okay, now last one. You've been, you're a foodie, you've been trying all the restaurants all around Adelaide and now Melbourne. You're basically the food guide for everyone and the players. So do you keep it the same tonight? Do you go to the same place? Or are you going to try something new again?
No, I'm a little bit nuts where I'm not superstitious, where I can never do the same thing twice.
Okay.
because that's not crazy or superstitious in a totally different way. So I have to go to somewhere different virtually every single night. So I keep getting a lot of recommendations. People walking by me are just shouting restaurant names at me. So keep it up, and then I can figure out where to go again.
Okay, well, it's whatever you're doing is working for you, your team as well. Congratulations. We look forward to your semi-final. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison Keys.
Through to the semi-finals, Madison Keys, and we will also look forward to that one. She'll be playing the winner of the second quarter-final, which is the first of the evening session today between home favourite, the top seed, Ashley Barty. She'll be going up against another American, Jessica Pegula, in that one. A great match to look forward to, but for now it's time for Madison Keys to get back and recover, and it's time for Jill Krabas to break down this first quarterfinal for us.
Well, we've talked about it throughout the entire match, but Keys, the way she served, high first serve percentage, 72%, had a lot of winners, 27 to compared to Krejcikova's only 12, and unforced errors, not that much of a difference, but look at all those break points for both players. Krejcikova's mostly those break points coming in the very, very beginning of the match, but Keys overall, as we know, Krejcikova struggled a little bit, obviously wasn't playing her best, guessing that it was the heat out there that she was struggling with, but the load got a little bit more for Krejcikova throughout that match as that went along, because that was a higher number for Keys, and then high intensity changes, quite even for both players. Keys doing incredible defending throughout that match, which just kept applying the pressure as the match went on.
So a great afternoon for Madison Keys, through to her first Grand Slam semi-final since the 2018 US Open. Jill, thank you for your input. It's been a pleasure. Plenty more tennis to come today, of course. Quarterfinals day here at the Australian Open, but from Jill Krabas and me, Colin Fleming, it's bye for now.